What's up? Earl in the light. Daddy is live. Let's just get the video straight. Let me see. Yeah, that looks good. That looks pretty good. Maybe a little downward there. There we go. Earl in the house. Dr. Nova in the house. Always a pleasure to see the good doctor. I'll be going to the Comedy Store tonight to roast battle. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck that. I do moisturize a little bit. I do use, we'll give these guys a plug. Vitamin C. And, are we dancing? My sign is vital. 'Cause I'm on my knees looking for the answer. Are we human? See, I know what you're doing there, Queen On. I just thought we'd have the light on for a second. But you know what? Zoom, you run this stream. If you want the lights off, we go lights off. So I hope you guys are having a good Tuesday night. I've been getting a lot of trolls lately in these streams. I've noticed they follow the theme of am I gay or not? Some people really lock into that. But you know what? I realized that when I started doing this stream, the internet would bring me the freaks. No, you, Kip, and Gina are the moderators of the year. I would think they'd be more at night. For some reason, my image that I have of trolls are people who just sleep in all day. And then, oh yeah, but I have a good voice. We don't talk about RD in here. I mean, yeah, I don't know why. I'm not sure why they would even care. I mean, I love women, baby doll. But yeah, and of course they really keep asking about it, which tells me that they're gay. Earl basically the only straight guy in this block, except for maybe Argus Hamilton. Argus definitely loves women, no doubt about it. Hey, well, happy birthday, Brienne. Happy birthday. Well, I don't mind trolls as long as they're funny, but that's the problem. Very few of them are. That's so funny. I never want to dox the guy, but he lives in the building next door to me, kid. And he looks the same, He's nice, I say, hey, what's up? I mean, he knows I know who he is. I mean, he looks the same, to be honest with you. But that shows you him living next to me in a nutshell sums up Hollywood like that, because my condo, I've been in his building. My condo is 100 times nicer than his apartment. He lives in an apartment. So that shows you, like, he was a pretty big star for a minute. And, I mean, Mitzi was kind of hot back in the day. I mean, in the mid 70s. I mean, what a position for her to be in. You're pretty much the only woman in power in an all male business, and you ruled that fucking club with an iron fist. And there's also the Comedy Store in Vegas, which I know a couple of years ago they were pretty close to having another one. I remember one night I was closing out the Comedy Store main room. Well, thank you, Brienne. And Richie comes up to me and goes, don't fuck around tonight. You got Vegas investors here. I'm like, Vegas investors for this club? He's like, no, you fucking dope. They're going to be a Comedy Store in Vegas again. So maybe I blew the deal. No, I had a good set that night. When I have to be, I'm a pro's pro. Yeah, I mean, I really would think a club in Vegas would do well because we'd automatically have the best lineups. If you look at the lineups of any club in Vegas, they're horrible, and a lot of them are my friends, to be frank. Um, Mitzi did hook up with a few comics, yes. I could see one in New York City doing well. I mean, really, the only competition, and it's big competition, would be the stand and the cellar. But then you would have to also, it'd be a pain in the ass in New York because you'd have to fly Comedy Store paid regulars out there, and that's going to be a lot of money every week. I mean, unless you did it like the Cellar, I think in Vegas does it, where it's three comics on a show. But still, you'd every week for 52 weeks a year, you'd have to fly three comics to New York, put them up in a hotel. I mean, so I don't know if they would do New York. Vegas makes sense because, even bigger name comics are like, I'll just drive there. George Wallace kills it in Las Vegas. Well, you would have two camps of regulars. Yeah, but the local comics in Vegas aren't the best group, to be honest with you. So you'd probably have to have maybe one comic in the Vegas Comedy Store stay there the whole week. You'd have to have someone host the open mics that you trust. You couldn't have a non-paid regular host it. We don't do shout outs in here, Cali Radio, unless you show me the money, honey. I don't remember. Donald Trumpster, you're bombing in my stream, and I simply don't allow that. What up, Teddy? Congratulations to your Eagles. We got a small but mighty group in here tonight. I did Tom Meyer's podcast today. It will be out Thursday morning, so check that out. It's kind of like gut-filled and politically incorrect. Tom did a very good job hosting. And the other comics also were three comics I'd never met before, so that was always fun. Yes, hit like and subscribe. Yeah, we only talked politics, but he does it in a fun way. I don't want to spoil it, so and all usually when you have four comics who don't know each other. Now I don't know if those three comics knew each other, but there's a lot of talking over and whatnot. But that was not the case. I never have visited that, Donald. I saw a YouTube clip yesterday where Mark Norman said Nick DiPaolo was literally walking outside for him to beat his ass. Oh, waiting outside, sorry. I mean, I hear Nick DiPaolo doesn't really take any shit. Now, I know Mark Norman. Mark's probably mouthed off to him or something. Might have even fucked his girl, which, Nick's a pretty big boy, so I would not want to see Nick DiPaolo angry. The one comic was from Seattle. The other two, I think one was from New York. Maybe the other two were from New York. I'm forgetting their names, but they probably forgot my name too, so it's all good. All good in the hood, as Vince McMahon said to Booker T and John Cena. All good in the hood. Uh, Donald Trumpster, you got one more chance, and then I'm gonna have to time you out, man. I mean, you got to be funny, baby doll. So, I mean, I voted for you in 2020, so I'm giving you one more shot to say something funny. Oh, really? Is it snowing in the Maryland area? We are bracing for torrential rain tomorrow night and Thursday and most of Friday, so should be interesting how the fire areas hold up. I mean, Nick keeps it real, from what I understand. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him. So I believe he has something to do with Gutfeld. So maybe if I ever get it, I will get to meet him. But so far, I mean, it can't be that hard to get on this fucking show. Like, this is why I always have to seem to try harder than most people. I mean, I see the same comics on that fucking show every week. Like, switch it up, baby. Um, so yeah, well, you guys be careful back east. Um, the weather is wacky right now. Better promoter Vince Herb Abrams, UHF, baby. I used to get those shows. Was it UHF or UWF? I guess it would be UWF. So, I mean, I did not vote for you this year. I don't know. I mean, like, and I like Jamie Lassau and Adam Hunter. I'm good friends with, but and Joe Mackey's a nice dude. I can't say I know him, but I've met him a few times. But there's no way I shouldn't have been on this fucking show by now. But what are you gonna do? Um, no, I think Gutfeld's on at 7 p.m. my time, so probably 7 p.m. Or I guess it would be 10 p.m. New York. Or I don't know if they show at 7 p.m. in New York and hold it out here. So I mean, I think I would either get along really well with Gutfeld or he wouldn't get it. Like I'd come in hot and hopefully it worked, or I might be a one and done on Gutfeld. So, but Gutfeld seems to get it. Like it's almost like he bombs on purpose, so then the panelists can get in there and save it. Um, yeah, I mean, you get one chance on a show like that. Like I knew a lot of comics who got on Chelsea lately. They got on once and they just didn't do well. And I've known a few comics who went on Rogan, they didn't do well, and they never get asked back. I mean, you get one shot. But luckily, I'm pretty polished. And like today, I did really well on Tom's show, as did the other comics. We had a good chemistry, which is weird. We rarely talked over each other. Um, but it really, you have to kind of like with Chelsea lately, it was her show, so you got to you can't upstage her, but you also want to do well. So it's a fine line of killing, but not killing more than she does. And same thing with Gutfeld. Like, if he bombs, you you want to jump on it, but you also don't want to embarrass him. So it's a real fine line, spur of the moment thing. Um, so what up, Ryan? I'm getting ready for the Four Nations tournament. It still bothers me that Russia is not in it. If I were the NHL, I would have said, "Hey, man, we have to get Russian in there so we could promote Ovechkin breaking Gretzky's record this year. If he keeps up his pace, Kip Smith in the fucking house." So I'm not feeling it though. Like I'm not like super pumped. It's such a quick tournament that I mean, that the league and probably the TV execs want U.S. and Canada. My breakdown of the tournament, and I know there's not a lot of hockey fans in this stream, but just a quick synopsis of the tournament. I think Canada has the best forwards and probably the best defense in terms of a group. I think U.S. has the better goaltending. And it's not like the U.S. forwards are bad. They've got a great group of forwards. Now, personally, I would have had Tage Thompson and Cole Caulfield on the team. But, I mean, you need goal scoring. They're probably the two best U.S. goal scorers going right now. And Thompson adds a little bit of size. And then, Sweden's got a great team. I saw their lineup today, like the lines and whatnot. And like, damn, I mean, they could do some damage, and they've got good goaltending. And the Fens, you can never count them out. They're a very proud country, and it's not like they have a bunch of stiffs playing. That's the good thing is there's no like fucking Team Belarus in this thing. This is probably outside of Russia the four best hockey nations. But I don't know. There's no drama right now in this. Yeah, well, I don't have a problem with that. It's going to be interesting. Now, I don't know if they can make. I mean, it's such a quick tournament that I don't know if like Trocheck is on the fourth line for Team USA. I don't know if he has a bad game the first game, if they can call up Tage Thompson and go, "Hey man, do you want to play? Can you get to Montreal by tomorrow?" Or I don't know if the rosters are set. Um, so I mean, it's pretty much. I mean, it's not a one and done tournament. You can lose and still get to the final, but like, there's really no time for. I mean, of course, all the players know each other, but like, Adrian Kempe is playing with Peterson of Vancouver. Like, I don't know if they've ever played together. What up, Donald Trump series? So nice you call me daddy twice. Um, but I mean, things are changing in international hockey. I mean, the U.S. won the World Juniors this year. They beat Team Cat in a pretty decisive fashion. So gone are like the 80s and 90s where you just basically gave Canada and Russia every tournament. Um, yeah, the Kings. What up? Shalom, shalom. Yes, I was on the Tom Myers podcast today. I believe it's out um, Thursday morning, if I understood Tom. Um, well, I think Arizona. Well, they're winning in Florida and Tampa. That's the thing. I mean, it's like Nashville's a great hockey town when they're winning. Um, you know, but trust me, the minute Florida starts losing and is an under 500 team, that stadium will be empty. Same thing with Tampa. At some point, Tampa's going to start losing because they've been good for so long. Um, and they had to do like they had to get trade Sergachev because they have a roster that's at or near the cap. So, um, I went to the first arena they had. I think it was in Phoenix, wasn't in Scottsdale, and it was brutal, man. There were poles. The sight lines were bad. The team was bad. And but they've got a good team now. I mean, of course they're in Utah, but they've drafted very well, and they have a ton of draft picks coming, so they're going to be good for a long time. Utah is. I kind of wish Quebec City. What up, AJ? Um, I wish a team would end up in Quebec City, but there's just not enough money for the league to put a team there. But it would be a great rivalry again to have Montreal and Quebec. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I remember my brother got married the first year the Lightning were there. What was that, 92, I believe? 92, 93. And I was excited that he had his wedding in Tampa. I think his wife is from there. And I remember going there and going, there's no signs. Like, there's no posters, there's no billboards, there's no, I don't know, bumper stickers. There was nothing. And I think they played the first couple years in that, where the baseball team played in like some huge stadium. So yeah, I remember the playoff when they played in Phil when they played against Philly in 95, 96 playoffs. That's my favorite playoff series of all time. That series was not boring, Grasshopper. You had the Philadelphia Flyers, a prime Eric Lindros, and the Tampa Bay Lightning's strategy was basically just to beat the shit out of them. It was a three tag team trios of Rudy Poshek. Let me show you this. The great Lionheart, Rudy Poshek. Right here, baby. Blood. I believe this jersey came from that series. All hail the great Lionheart, Rudy Poshek. So it was a tag team. There's Lois. Lois be chilling right now. It was Rudy, the great Ukrainian defenseman Igor Ulanov, and one of the greats, Michel Petit. And it was just those three specifically hammering Lindros every play. And I believe the Flyers won that series 4-2, but it was the definition of jungle hockey. DB, what up? What up? I think the some of the Lightning, Peter Klima was on that Lightning team. Sean Burr. I think Darren Pupa was the goalie. You had Corey Cross on defense. I mean, it was blood sport. If you really want to see a great synopsis of that series, go on YouTube and just put in Petit, Petit, Lindros, rough stuff. And it's just from, I believe it was game 2 in Philly, where it was just insane. Just 12 minutes of just blood sport. Um, oh, that's too bad. I didn't know. I thought you said Hurricane Melton. I'm like, what did Melton have to do with anything? Yes, the great 1988 movie Bloodsport with Bolo Young as Chong Lee and Donald Gibb, Notre Dame High alumni, along with myself. And who else was in? No one really big was in Bloodsport. I mean, it was a Canon film, so the budget was pretty low. But I'm sure. I mean, can you imagine? That a movie like Bloodsport. I'm gonna guess. I mean, it was Van Damme. Yeah, Lee something, I think was her name. Um, oh, did Ricky Starks show up on NXT tonight? Um, I'm trying to think. I'm gonna guess Bloodsport maybe cost $6 million. Yeah, she was in a couple things. I think I remember her in a couple TV shows, but I don't know. I mean, you never know in Hollywood. I mean, I remember Sharon Stone was in, I think, the first Seagal movie, and she didn't really stand out, no more than Lee did in Bloodsport, and one goes on to become a huge actress, and the other, I can't recall another show. Chuck Zito. What did Ricky Starks go show up on NXT tonight? Yeah, I don't know what happened with Ricky Starks in AEW. I mean, I think it all went downhill when him and Edge did that promo, and Edge was just ripping him for being the vanilla Rock, and Ricky Starks had a comeback that didn't quite work, and then Edge, Adam Copeland, jumped on that. So, oh wow, that's interesting. Can I snipe the Ricky? Would that be on YouTube? Hold on. I don't usually do this, but I met Ricky Starks at the Ric Flair roast. I guess I can't show that. I don't want to get in trouble. Oh, what? Let me just cue it up for when I end this stream. I might have to end the stream early to hear that. I'm sure he ripped into A. Did he rip into AEW? But I don't mind AEW holding on to him. It's not AEW's job to release Ricky Starks so he can be a big star in WWE. NXT. Let's see. Oh boy, here we go. Damn, I knew I should have watched that. Oh, it's only about. Can I show that on William Zoom? If I show this Ricky Starks clip, can I do I get in trouble? Mute our audio for a minute. Oh, okay. All right. Let me do that. You're gonna get my reaction to the Ricky Starks. Okay. Can you hear me now? We're back. We're back live. I think I figured it out. Woo! Sorry about that, guys. We're back. What up, Petroid? Sorry about that. Let's see if you can read my lips. What up, 3 plates? Tommy in the house. That's the last time I try and snipe a wrestling segment. It's always something more problematic for me. Um, yeah, I think I'll ban myself. Yeah, show me the money, honey. Petroid. Uh, well, I mean, that's exciting. Ricky Starks is really small in person. I mean, he's pretty jacked, but I towered over him, and I'm not even that tall. But he's good on the mic. I mean, I think his problem in WWE will be that he'll be compared too much to The Rock because it's the same shtick. Um, I think if you really wanted to get him over, you'd have him in a promo with The Rock. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, they certainly seem to do better at building characters than AEW. I don't know why AEW doesn't push like larger. I think Dynamite was tonight, right? Um, because they're going to Australia Saturday. Um, yeah, I mean, Wardlow is just a wasted talent. And I mean, they're kind of, they go in and out with Powerhouse Hobbs. I mean, Powerhouse Hobbs had that one match with fucking Will Ospreay where he hung in there. I mean, Brian Cage is good, great body, good personality, great in the ring wrestler, but he's probably not great on the mic. But he's paired with Don Callis, so that shouldn't be an issue. I think he'd be better as a solo guy versus a faction. I'm interested to see how AEW brings in Elias. He's signed with Ring of Honor, and they paired him with the Righteous, which is that strange tag team. So it kind of fits. I mean, the first promo was pretty funny, but I don't think anyone saw it because it was Ring of Honor. So I personally would have done it differently. I would have had the Righteous getting beat up by, say, the Hurt Syndicate, and then the lights go out. You hear some noise in the ring, and then Elias is in the ring, and he cuts a promo on WWE. Well, I get it though. Like, it's not, and I feel the same way with like WWE when they are about to release people. It's not AEW's job to release Ray Phoenix so he could go and be a big star for WWE, and it's not WWE's job to release someone so AEW can make them whatever they make them. Not much, William. Not much. Just that he's the new revolution. Yeah, and he jobs a lot. So Cage has jobbed pretty much since he's been in AEW. So I don't know if the public would buy all of a sudden. What up, Jamie? A winning streak with him. Same thing with Big Bill. I mean, Big Bill's lost a lot, so you know, Wardlow they've fucked up at least 3 different times. I mean, they need better writing. So, but Lance Archer, he is in the Don Callis family. He's another guy who should be on his own, but there's simply just not enough time. That's the bad thing with AEW getting rid of Rampage. I love John Tortorella, but I think that Rampage was a show where you would see like Lance Archer, Brian Cage, MXM Collection. Um, but now there's just only two shows, and when you have Okada and Osprey and Omega doing 15 to 20-minute matches, there's just no room for guys like that. So that's why they probably put the Righteous and Elias in Ring of Honor. But who the fuck watches Ring of Honor? You know, well, I think Torts is um, he's not good for young players. I think he fucks with their confidence, but he also holds them accountable. So yeah, I mean, I do think I don't read what the trolls say in here anymore. That was probably my mistake early on, was engaging with them, but um, I just kind of think it's funny that the trolls think they can hurt my feelings. It's just, no. You guys literally have never hurt my feelings once. It's either you're old or you're not funny, and it's just like I've heard it 1,000 times already. Um, I mean, I don't even know how you watch Ring of Honor. I mean, I'm assuming their website, but it's a lot of work to find it. Um, so I just would have debuted Elias and Dynamite, because now here's the problem: when you have the Righteous um, on Dynamite the next time they're on TV, Elias is going to show up, and so it kind of lessens the impact. People will still cheer for him, and especially if he gets off a good song. If they let him loose and let him rip WWE, I think that would be funny. Um, I mean, Jericho is a survivor. I mean, you have to give him that. I mean, the guy has been a star in 3 different promotions, and really 4 if you count New Japan. I think his last good match, though, was against Kenny Omega. Was that 2018? But and he also has a lot of outside interests in music and acting and whatnot. So, um, I mean, I would hope. I mean, you got to respect his history in the business. I've seen his band open up for Motorhead many, many years ago. I mean, they were all right. Um, so I love Jim Florentine. He's the best. Would you go on the Jericho cruise? I mean, for fun, I would. I mean, I'm at the point now. 100% Bates. You start the conversation. Um, I'm at the point now where I've got to do stuff that helps me. And doing the Jericho cruise would do absolutely nothing for me, like in terms of like making a career move. Like, it'd be fun to hang out with all those wrestlers, but like, I come back home Monday and it's just like, okay. Well, that was fun, but Emily didn't see any of it. Debbie does Dallas. Come on, baby doll. Ron Jeremy is in jail. We don't. I'd rather talk about Brian Callen. Well, they're one and the same, though, from what I understand. Um, well, I never really. I mean, I know Harry Reams. I know, obviously, John Holmes. We might have to start circling back about Eddie Nash. So, Ron. Well, he might. They said his defense team said he had dementia, and so he doesn't. I mean, I don't know a lot about '70s porn, to be honest with you. I don't watch porn. Um, yeah, I mean, so I think he's in like a halfway house or something. I mean, he did not look very good the last picture I saw of him. I mean, not that he ever looked good. I mean, when he was younger, he looked. No, Ron Jeremy does not work out, which is surprising, because all the girl chasing he did, you think he would have looked better. I really don't watch porn, to be honest with you. It's too graphic for me. Um, Hell, I don't even have sex anymore. Well, Rick, you should get back in the game, baby. Sex is wonderful. Um, and just beat off too. That saves you a lot of money. Um, yeah, with a foot long weenie, but like my God, like I'd see him come up to the Comedy Store, and man, he did not look good in person. You know, but he was also Me Too'd out of porn, like because he wouldn't shower. Like, I mean, my one buddy directed one of his last films, and like he has that disease, narcolepsy. So he literally just falls asleep in public. So he fell asleep waiting for the movie to start filming, and he shit his pants. So my buddy comes up to him and basically goes, "Hey man, we're ready for you, Ron. But do you want to shower? You want to freshen up?" And Ron's like, "No, I'm good." Um, I mean, I don't know Route 152. I don't know if they were dropped or he was held. I mean, I don't think he's out roaming the streets, but I think he's in like a halfway house where he's being monitored. But he's got a lot of, I think, civil suits against him. I believe there's also a civil suit against the Rainbow under the guise of they knew what he was doing up there. So he's by no means out of trouble. Well, I mean, Ron shouldn't be upset about that, given. I mean, he was a real creep. Every time I met him, I was usually with a girlfriend at the Rainbow, and like he'd like linger at my table, and like I remember one time, and he was a real freeloader. Like he would literally go by someone eating a pizza and go, "Hey, can I get a slice?" And it's like, what? Um, I mean, I don't know if he's the only, but he might be one of the few that are alive. I mean, Tawny Kitane's deceased, and yeah, Eric Estrada, I think, is doing pretty well. Ray is a queef. AC Slater, yeah, I don't know what Mario Lopez has to do with anything, but yeah, I mean, Larry Flint. I've been in the Hustler offices before. I used to play hockey on Sunday nights in Culver City with a real ragtag group of people. And I used to pick this guy up because he didn't have a car. Morgan Hayden. He was the editor of Busty Beauties. And he had to pick up something in the office one night after hockey. So I went up there with him, and it was just like unbelievable. It's like literally hundreds of different magazines, all covering a fetish of whatever you're into was up there. Was Mario Lopez on the Surreal Life? I don't remember him being on the Surreal Life. Um, but I didn't really watch the show. I think I watched the one show where CC DeVille, he was in it. Who's kind of survived Saved by the Bell was Mark Paul Gouzelaar. He's like acting in a lot of serious roles and whatnot. Yeah, Screech did not do very well after that show. And from what I understood, not really a well liked guy. I met him, I think Eric Bischoff and Jason Hervey had some wrestling show, and I met him, celebrity wrestling or something, and he seemed like a nice enough guy. No, I think you're thinking of Mini Me. Yeah, he was on Franklin and Bash. He was on NYPD Blue. He's on something else now where he plays like a heavy. Um, so he's kind of survived, um, versus like poor Elizabeth Berkley. I know Mr. Belden, Dennis Haskins. Poor Elizabeth Berkley, just Showgirls was such a flop at the box office that although she was in Any Given Sunday, it wasn't like a huge part. But now Showgirls is kind of It's morphed into this great campy cult hit, especially in the gay community. Um, I met Mr. Belding at a few comedy shows. He actually is really nice. Um, so Jesse Spano had some nice tits. Well, thank you, Ray. I mean, Elizabeth Berkley had a fucking body on her, though, 100%, 100%. Um, but that movie wasn't. I mean, that just movie, like, it's so bad, it's good. But you look at some of the actors they got, like the guy who played Tony Moss, who was my favorite part of the movie. He just died. I mean, he was like an Emmy nominated actor because he was in, I think, the original L.A. Law. Um, and then, Robert Davi was a pretty serious actor around that time. I don't know how they talked him into it. That's a tough one. I mean, that is a tough one. Better. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I'll go. Hmm. I mean, I think Elizabeth Berkley was a little more lanky than Demi, but I think Demi had bigger tits. I liked Anthony Anderson in The Shield, but um, Chandler had worked with him on Shark Week, and he said he was kind of a dick, so that kind of ruined it for me. Um, I mean, Demi Moore looks good in that Paramount show, Landman. Kind of looks unrecognizable, so I don't know if she's had some facial whatever. Well, sorry to hear that, Rick Jones. I don't know if Elizabeth Berkley was in that. Yeah, I mean Demi Moore, like so young and innocent, like St. Elmo's Fire, and then striptease with Burt Reynolds. She kind of got a little slutty looking, but I mean Elizabeth Berkley, just but she's one Tarantino role away from getting back in the game. Well, they do ruin themselves. I mean, Hollywood is a lot tougher on women than men in terms of looks. I mean, the second you get um, a wrinkle or a little belly, they move on to the next one. Like right now, Sydney Sweeney's like the girl, and I think Sydney Sweeney's beautiful. Like that is, she kind of looks like someone I know. Um, but the second she gets a bit of a belly or a wrinkle or has a kid and the body's a little wonky, it's over, Johnny. They'll move on to the next one. Whereas, you know, men, like Tom Cruise is still getting leading roles, and now he's maybe an outlier because he's Tom Cruise, but older men can still be leading actors. But it's tough for women once they get past probably 30. I mean, look at Cameron Diaz. She got all the cute blonde roles, and then she got a little older, and seemed like she lived pretty hard. And all right, we'll just go with the next girl. You and the biz, Bates? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I mean, Sydney Sweeney's tits are like that. That's A plus. So, um, like Matt Rife. Now I don't know if he acts much, but like when he gets a little older, he can play the hot dad. Not I mean Jennifer Coolidge kind of has nailed that. You can get older and put on weight and still get leading roles. So it's not impossible. It's just a lot harder for women, I think, when they age. Annie McDowell's hot. Well, yeah, but like that one casting director said Sydney Sweeney wasn't attractive. It's like, what the fuck are you looking at? Like to me, she's gorgeous, man. Um, because she's looks natural. I mean, her tits are natural. She's born with big tits. Um, so um, Selma Hayek, I don't know. She's the goat. I mean. but she's certainly attractive still. I mean, but I think she's really into her skin and moisturizes and all that stuff. Some girls, a lot of guys just wake up. You think Keith Richards moisturizes? Fuck no. Well, like Keith Richards is an example of a guy who's aged to looking like he's dead, and chicks would still fuck him. What up, Mike America? We're just doing about another 10 minutes, Mike, because I got to go to the gym late night. I did like Anthony Anderson in The Shield. But then when I don't know where Marty Friedman played tonight. Of course, I think he was the OG guitar player in Megadeth. Keith Richards snorts moisturizer. Didn't he snort his dad's ashes once? I mean, that's how hardcore Keith Richards is. Yes, great guitar. Would you go on the Hollywood Scares? Not with Jeff on it. Fuck that. If I'm ever on a TV show and they say, "Hey, can you work with Jeff Ross?" I'm be like, "Nope. See ya." I have not heard the new Jack White album. I'm not really a huge fan. I'm not like, okay, it sounded like an urban legend, but, it's something that I could see Keith Richards doing, to be frank. I mean, Keith Richards has been partying since the '60s. I can't imagine what his insides look like, man. They have to be tore up. 100%, Ray, 100%. But the guy still gets laid. I mean, it's a miracle of life. I've thought about it a lot. I just don't get it. I mean, those girls have to be thinking about anything but him. But what can you do? I mean, there's got to be. For me, I always have to be at least somewhat attracted to whoever I'm with. Like, there's got to be some physical, visual, like, this girl's hot. Either she's got a great ass, she's got great tits, both, pretty face. I mean, the girls who sleep with him and see him naked, they must dry up quicker than a desert. They could pour a whole ocean of water inside their vaginas. It'd still be dry if I saw him naked. If I was a woman, personally. Yeah, but he's not even really a celebrity. Like, I mean, he kind of is, but he's not. I mean, like, if you don't follow the roasting world, you don't know who he is. Well, so am I, Rick Jones. So am I. I've never met the guys from Rush. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard one person talk about the Hollywood Squares, so I just assumed he was on it. Uh, but yeah, I don't. I mean, if he weren't on it, I would go on it. But I'm not going to be on something like that until I build up my name a little bit more. So, I mean, I'd rather be on Gutfeld or some late night talk show as a comic. And, come February 24th, we'll be 20 years unmarried and faithful. Good for you. Good for you, Rick Jones. Yeah, I mean, I've had a rough run with women the last few years, but who do you have tomorrow, Earl? Canada or Sweden? Well, I mean, you got to always favor Canada. I mean, from top to bottom, they probably have the best roster, but Sweden's no joke. I mean, that first line with Peterson and Kempe. I mean, Kempe's the real deal. I mean, this is a tournament that's very tough to pick a winner because it's a week-long tournament. So you have one bad game, you're behind the eight ball. I mean, I like Team USA, not because I'm you know, bias, but I think they have the best goaltending. Now, I still can't believe that they're not going to use Tage Thompson or Cole Caulfield, but they went with a little bit more grit with a guy like Trocheck. Um, I'm not very physical on stage. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're both pretty lucky. I mean, Jimmy's never made me laugh once, and Tyrus hasn't either. But I wouldn't say that if I was on Gutfeld. I'd be like, "You're great, man." Uh, Wait, I don't get that question. Hey, Earl, if there were two teams in the world, team one typos, team two no typos, which team would you join? I'll smoke what you're smoking. I don't even know how to answer that question. Yeah, I mean, you got to get on it, but you got to be asked to do the bigger podcast. I can't just. I would love to do Joe Rogan, but you don't get on Joe Rogan by saying, "Hey, Joe, can I go on your podcast?" I think the key for me is getting. It would be like someone like Theo giving me a shot, and I know I'd kill it on Theo, but he knows I need the help. But I don't want to be. I know all these famous comics that love me, but none of them help me. And I'm not complaining, but I'm like, they could throw Daddy a bone. Um, I don't think John Ritter was a stand-up. He was a comic actor. He's like Michael Richards. See you, Mike America. Thank you very much. I don't really know. I never really played. I mean, John Ritter was a great comic actor for sure. Um, but that doesn't, as you saw in Michael Richards' case, translate into stand-up comedy. Um, I mean, because being a comic actor, Michael Keaton, Comedy Store paid regular. Michael Keaton, he translated very well. Yeah, but he still has he still has comics on. But uh, when might we see an Earl special? I'm working on it. Just trying to figure out the finances of it, to be honest with you. It's not cheap to run a special if you want to do it right. Now, it's cheap if we just had one camera and I could, let me do this here. If we just had one camera right there going to that would be the stage with the jellies as the background. But the sound would be shit. So, I'm not going to do it unless I feel it's going to look good visually and audio. And I'm not doing a fucking GoFundMe. I'm going to pay for my own special. And, and I'm sure I could get, with all the people that like me, a lot of money from fans. I could mooch off my fans because I think everyone wants to see a special. The people who are into me would donate heavily, but I don't use my fucking fans like that. So, yes, I mean, there is all you need is a pre-mic. Yeah, but I mean, I think I told you guys this. Um, I had someone who puts budgets together for specials. She came over and, well, Ash Drums, here's the deal. If you're falling asleep in my stream, what you can do is you can leave the stream and go to Ray DeVito's stream and fall asleep even quicker. Um, yeah, but I'm not going to use my fans to, you know, make my special. I'll do it myself. 100%. Well, I have an elliptical, but it would be a good camera mount. Now, some of the early ideas we had was, so let me give you the POV of what we were thinking. We were going to do the special. She's just chilling right now. Right here. This would be where the stage was. You'd have the Earl sign right there. We were going to have a bodybuilder on the elliptical just working out for the whole hour. As you can see, it tore it clean off. That tore it clean off of that. So this would have been the POV from the, we would have had probably chairs right here, people all up on the couch, maybe a couple dry humping each other right here. And we were going to have Gail. Since Gail is a bartender, she was going to be making drinks right there, but that would be kind of noisy. We'd have chairs over there. And, to do it that way with a camera crew and to make the hardwood floor, it's not a great room for sound with hardwood floors. You'd have to build the stage. What we were going to do was also film me in my bedroom coming down the stairs like we were gonna start rolling for me up there, and then I'd be walking down here. Ryan O'Neal would be bringing me up. I'd walk on the stage. And to do that, to hire a professional sound crew, film crew, editors, and whatnot, would have been, according to this lady, $30,000. And you're talking equipment rentals, all kinds of shit. Now, some of the things were just ideas. Like we wanted to have basically, here's my voiceover mic. This is the Neumann 103 mic. You can see it. So the air filter covers the Neumann mic, but we'd have to have basically large panels that look like this all over the place, but that's. And people are like, $30,000, where the fuck are you getting that idea from? But, professional camera crews, it's no joke. I mean, these guys make anywhere from $200 to $700 an hour. Now, Pistol Pete Lazarus is an award-winning documentary. So, that would save a little bit of money in terms of, not having to hire an editor. I mean, you've seen the 2 trailers for the special. They're very well done. And then you got to have a little bit of money for promotion. I mean, that's where getting on like Rogan and Theo and Bert's podcast would help. I know the head of Netflix comedy. So, Pete's directing it. Pete's editing it, directing it. O'Neal's helping out. So that's just to give you an idea of what it would cost in my apartment. A condo. I'm not a poor. I don't live in an apartment. So you can imagine then the costs go up a little bit more if you do it at, say, a theater where you have to have a sound system in place. And now most theaters have a sound system in place, but, like when I did comedy before XPW wrestling, I believe that was the same theater in Glendale that Adam Sandler used for his special. Now, the beauty there is the sound system's already in play. So you literally have to do nothing. But, the seating was... if Adam Sandler's doing his special there, I'm sure it cost a fair amount of money. So, it's not as easy as you guys make it out to be. I think some people think I'm being a little lazy, but, I want it to be different, I could film it in the theater tomorrow, but then it's just another special in a theater. It looks the same, sounds the same. I mean, there'd be more laughter in my special than most specials. Um, yeah, I mean, I did Ryan's other pod, and I had a great time. This is the pod he did with Jay Larson, but uh, you know, um, I mean, I thought me and Sickler were cool, but I don't know. I mean, it's really weird. I have not problems, but I seem to really struggle getting along with comics who are around my age that are successful. Um, do you want audience who knows you or audience who don't? Well, probably a mixture of both, but definitely, I don't want fake laughter. Like, I don't want to have my friends just laughing, go, well, it's Earl, we got to laugh. But, George Perez did his special at the Comedy Store recently. So that's not out of the picture, but because obviously the Comedy Store, you're everything's there for you. I mean, you've got a killer sound system, and you can see by my recent stand-up clips that they've got great cameras. Obviously, I'd have my own cameras and shit, but renting a 4K camera, it's not cheap, and you'd probably need anywhere from 2 to 4. So the cost is a little more than I think what people think. Um, but I want to do a special this year. I mean, a lot of things are already in place, and I think it already would be different than most because me, Pete, and Ryan have shot about literally 30 to 50 hours. I mean, I lost track, to be honest with you. I'll say 40 hours of usable footage for a documentary. So, there's several plans of attack we could use or we could do. I mean, I wanted to put out the documentary first. As I whet your appetite, be about 40 minutes to an hour. You throw it up on YouTube, and then at the end of the documentary, you say coming soon. You could probably make some decent money on YouTube doing it that way, and then that could help fund the special. So, I'm working on it. It's harder to do it when you don't have a manager or an agent who can break down the doors for you. Um, that would be funny on an airline. Yeah, 100%, but I'm not gonna snort cocaine. Yeah, Red Bands Club, I did think about that. I mean, it's not great acoustically because it's a bar, basically, but it's a thought for sure. Um, I would have Kevin Brennan executive produce it. Um, yeah, I mean, listen, all ideas are on the table, black and blue. And I think it's just I know it sounds kind of hacky to say, but I really want my special to be special. I don't want to just put out a special and then it's forgotten about in 2 days on YouTube. I guarantee you, when my special is done and in the can, ain't nobody gonna forget about it. Um, would you go? Yeah, I mean, I love Jamie Kennedy. He said he would have me on, but he's another guy who like he did my podcast and he was great. Came over, we had a good time. But, I don't know. I mean, it's like it's I don't wanna say people are jealous. I think people are jealous of me because 'cause I'm cool. Like, I'm in my mid-50s, but everyone likes me because 'cause I'm cool. And I think successful comics around my age, they're not cool, so they don't want me around. That's the only thing I could come up with. I'm not talking about Jamie, but, uh, yeah, my special needs. I'll help you produce it. It'll be a Jim Dandy of a show. Oh, I mean, here's the funny thing: the comedy's the easiest part. I can do an hour in my sleep, and I think it's a good hour. And I think you throw in the documentary. I mean, how many fucking comics do a documentary before the special about why they don't have a special? So yes, check out the Inappropriate Earl podcast, please. I am on Patreon. Um, and PayPal, is eskakel at AOL.com. Yeah, I mean, I love Jamie Kennedy. He gets it. Like, he's cool. He's happy. He's content. He's like the acting version of Stephen Pierce. He was like, "Hey, man, I'm successful. I've been successful a long time. I'm just having fun in my life right now." Um, well, I mean, I don't have a lot of enemies in this business. I mean, Jeff is absolutely one. But you notice he never says anything bad about me because he can't. What's he gonna say? I didn't fuck Earl over. He knows he did. He don't care, but he can't say anything bad about me. He can't say I wasn't good for the show. Um, I mean, the funniest Jeff thing I've ever seen was when Rogan was talking about me to him on his podcast. He's like, Earl had the greatest uh, entrance I've ever seen, and then he murdered that Comedy Central writer. And you could see Jeff kind of like, he's like twisting in his chair because he knows he can't say anything bad about me, but he's like, he can't compliment me. And I think he was like, yeah, that was good, but there's a lot of good entrances, something like that. And Joe's like, huh? So, I mean, Jeff is probably jealous of me that I'm actually funny. Better movies, Jamie Kennedy or David Arquette? Wow, that's a tough one. I mean, well, I mean, since David Arquette was WCW champ, I got to go with Arquette. So, all right, you kids, we'll go another 2 minutes. We'll go to 72 minutes to remember the 72 Olympic attack. So get your last minute questions in. And then Earl was going to the gym to work on his already impressive body. That's good. So Rick Jones, thank you very much. Yeah, but you know what? The Mossad killed every one of the PLO terrorist attacks that was responsible for that. I'm the Mossad. I don't give up. Didn't they say you could go back in the roast battle room if you apologize to Jeff? Yes, that's Hollywood in a nutshell. I'm going to apologize to Jeff for what? Like, so, is that Earl? No, that's not Earl Shine. So, you guys have been good to me tonight. Check out the latest short that I released today. It's a quick WNBA joke. Might not be for everybody, and that's fine. Comedy is subjective. Thank you very much. Thank you, William Zoom, for always commenting on my videos. Would you box Jeff at the next Jake Paul pay-per-view? I would love to box Jeff. I'd kill him. I literally would kill him. I'd be like, no headgear, no gloves, street fight. I'll sign the insurance. You up for it, fat boy? Yes, you too, Rick Jones. Yes, yes, it is Hump Day tomorrow. I have no special plans for Hump Day, but probably just work out and write dick jokes. Basically, what I did today. We got 50 seconds. Yeah, I mean, that's how lazy he is. So, I mean, I used to really want to roast battle him. I'm like, okay, you're Mr. Big Bad Roast Master. Let's see what you got, bitch. And then I realized he would just have my ex-girlfriend write jokes, and he'd recite them. And I already beat her. So, believe me, I'm comfortable going up against her writing. Trust me on that one. So I wouldn't even be battling him. So, I would like you and Alexei Lawless to do a dedicated rad show. I tried to get him on the pod, but to be honest with you, he doesn't seem that interested. Like, he's busy, I get it. So, but he's always nice to me. I always bump into him at Stephen Piercy shows at the Whiskey. Sup, Earl, in the chat. Simply Deep. I'm ending the stream right now, so get here earlier next time, brother. So, Earl Skakel, over and out. I'll see you guys tomorrow night at some point. At some point.